pregnant, nobody knows. I hope I'm not acting weird because I'm pregnant and nobody knows. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Kiara. If you are new to my channel, I am the other half of Meet the Masons, which is my vlog channel where I vlog with my husband. So you are here today because you've already found out that I'm pregnant. You've seen the reaction of Jared to me having the positive pregnancy test. And now I'm here to update you guys on weeks 1 through 4. So today actually makes week 5 for me. I'm starting week 5. Today is December 31st, 2016. So you're like, what? Yes, I have known since 2016, but we chose, of course, to keep it to ourselves just to really enjoy this time of knowing that, hey, we're parents. This is just between us. It's our little secret right now. We're nurturing the baby. You know, we're getting our minds ready for the plans that we need to make, the budget, all those different things. So we just kind of wanted to keep it to ourselves for right now before then. But anyway, so weeks 1 through 4 update. Okay, so if you don't know, if you're not familiar with pregnancy, there's really no such thing as being pregnant for 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, but So how it works is when you find out you're pregnant, the doctor will tell you your due date based on the first day of your last cycle. The first day of my last cycle was November 26th. So every Saturday I turn the next week, which is really cool, and it helps me to think about this a lot more clearly, especially when I'm filming, because I film on Saturdays. So it's really great. So the week that you're on your period, you're technically 1 week pregnant, and then the week after, when you're off your cycle, then you're 2 weeks pregnant, and then 3 and 4. Let's just say weeks 1 and 2, I just didn't know. So I've been on my cycle. Week 1, I was on my cycle. Week 2, I wasn't sure if I was ovulating, but in the period tracker, it said that December 15th, I was ovulating, and I was like, okay. So week 3 comes around. I'm hoping, okay, I've ovulated. I'm hoping I could test soon and that I will be able to surprise Jared as a Christmas gift that he will be a dad. So I tested on Christmas Eve. I actually tested a couple days before then, the 22nd, which was a Thursday. Stark white negative, nothing. So I was like, okay. And then on the 24th, which was Christmas Eve, I'm like, surely, I mean, when else am I going to be able to surprise him for Christmas unless I test on, you know, the day before Christmas. That was the latest I could test. And it was a stark white negative. So by that time, I believe I was 10 days past ovulation. So it should have picked up based on if I had ovulated when I thought, because most people can get a positive pregnancy test at maybe around 8 or 9. So I'm like, 10 for sure it's gonna show up. It didn't show up, and it was a stark white negative. I cried my eyes out. I'm just like, Lord, we've been praying for this, we've been believing for this, and I've taken tons of pregnancy tests. But that one really hurt me the most because I was really looking forward to a positive. So by then, I was having symptoms. What kind of test was I? Okay, so after I take the test, we ended up going to breakfast with our friends, the Lammies. I always enjoy being around them, but I was just got out of my sad moment. Jared didn't know, because the whole time I've been taking these pregnancy tests, Jared never knew anything because my idea was always to surprise him. So I never wanted to bring him in there, stress him out. I just wanted to carry that load by myself. So we get to the breakfast place and I smell this pungent smell. It just smelled like stinky breath. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, y'all smell that? They're like, no. What are you talking about? I'm like, okay. Couple minutes went by and I'm like, you telling me like y'all don't smell that smell, like y'all don't smell it at all? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? So I was like, So every time I had a symptom, I've been tracking it into my app, and that's what helps me, you know, track my symptoms and stuff like that, which you can get really crazy about it. And I was. So every time I felt a little twinge, a cramp, something weird happens, I tracked it down because it is what it is. Another thing that happened that was totally crazy for me was on the 18th. It's 4:33 in the morning, and I got a shooting cramp that felt like it came from my vagina up into like under my rib cage, and it's like I could see it. It was like a white thunderbolt. Like I could see it cramping up my whatever. And it hurt, and then after it went away, it was sore. So typically when I have cramps, it's like, okay, you have a cramp and then that's over. But no, this one, it was a cramp and then I was sore after that. And I'm like, huh, did I implant? Like, implantation is when the fertilized egg goes into your uterine line or one of those lines, and then you feel it, the impact or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's really weird. And then another crazy thing that happened was week 2 and week 3, I found a pimple under my boob, and I'm like, who gets pimples under their boobs? Like, never. I've never had acne my whole life. I do get pimples occasionally when I'm about to have my cycle, but my boob, never in my life. So when I saw that, I'm like, because I know when you're pregnant, you just get like, some people get weird acne. I will not get that in Jesus' name. So when I saw that, I was just like, oh, that's weird. So then another thing, week 3, I was mad, like angry black woman. That was me. I was mad. I mean, furious, irritable. Everything made me mad. Jared and I had arguments throughout the whole week. I was mad at my worship leader. I was mad at one of my close friends. Like, everybody annoyed me. The person at the gym annoyed me. When I woke up, I was just irritated. Just that whole week. And I'm like, this is just not like me. And so I was thinking to myself, well, if I am pregnant, it feels like I have a gang of boys on the inside of me because my testosterone levels are just through the roof. So I was just mad. But anyway, this is all before the negative test on Christmas Eve. So that's week 3. So then we get to week 4. Christmas comes, and I'm with my family, and I'm just hoping they don't ask me when I get pregnant, because at that point I was just really disappointed, because that was when I was supposed to know if I was going to be pregnant or not. So I was kind of sad about it. But I just kept going. Of course, they mentioned it like, oh, we waiting for you and stuff like that, which I understand their excitement, but at the same time, it was just like, don't say anything else about it until I tell you. So that was that. And then now this is week 4. The day after Christmas, I had cramping on my left side. I had tingles in my boobs, and it was just like moving little pains. It really was super light, but I was super aware of my body at the time. And so throughout this pregnancy, since October, so I've been on every like website looking up, okay, how do you know if you're pregnant? How do you get pregnant? What's the best way to, all these different things. So I found a lot of things in what most women go through and the symptoms that they have, and most of them say that they knew it was because they had sore boobs. Wasn't my case. I didn't have sore boobs. Funny thing is while I was on before I was on birth control, this is how my life was. My cycle's about to come on. I knew it. My boobs would get like super sore, a little bit harder. Not my nipples or anything, but just like my breasts, they were just more tender, and I knew that my cycle was on. But ever since I went on birth control, and even coming off of the birth control, I never got sore boobs to indicate that my cycle was coming on. So I just pretty much thought that, oh well, either I'm not pregnant or I'm not that person, but it was more so probably I'm not pregnant. But I was hoping it was, I'm just not that girl that gets the sore boobs, because not everyone did. But what I did get was just, it was more sensation in my boobs. Like, it was just things trying to connect in there. And I'm like, ooh, maybe this is my breast milk. Who knows? So I noticed that. And then, day after, had moving pain in my right breast. I was really bloated, constipated. Oh my goodness. So week 4 was just the week of constipation. Every single day I've been constipated. So I'll eat my food, I'll get super bloated, look like I'm 3 months pregnant, I'll poop, and then it'll go down. Then I'll eat something again and I'll get super bloated, and then I get constipated. So that's what I've been going through. Now that today is week 5, I actually have not experienced that, but yeah, I've been super constipated. So that's how I knew, it's like, man, this is weird. So by then, the day is Tuesday the 27th. But then I was like, okay, my cycle still hadn't come, and my cycle was due to come on the 29th, and I just didn't feel like it was gonna come on. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this can be a New Year's Eve gift instead of it being a Christmas gift, because my cycle still hadn't come on. So I just figured there was still hope that I could be pregnant. Was super gassy, some other TMI. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. So then the day before my period was supposed to start, I felt a little queasy. Then Jared called me and was like, you're the best mommy ever. And he called me and said that because I called him to make sure he was up, because on Wednesdays he goes to work a little bit later if he, you know, decides to do that. So I called him to see if he was there up on time, and I just really, it really touched me. And then he said he can't wait for me to be a mother. And then, yeah, it really touched me. So I was like kind of emotional in my feelings. I'm like, okay, if he said that, I'm probably pregnant, because Jared's words are really powerful. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure, I'm pregnant. I think, maybe. Then I looked at my belly, and I was like, it was, first of all, really bloated. But then I felt like it was taking a shape, because like I've always dealt with bloating. That was always something I've always dealt with. My bloating was always bad. Like my belly just gets so big and full. But then I felt like it was taking a shape. And at that point I thought I was going to be 6 weeks by the end of this week, but that wasn't right. It's actually 5. Anyway, so I was constipated again, pooped, less bloated, tingling pain in my boobs. And I had some discharge. So then the day comes on the 29th. I just noted that the past 3 days my stomach has been really bloated. So in the morning it'll be, you know, relatively flat, but by 8 or 9, which I work out at 5, by 8 or 9 after I've eaten or something, I look like I'm 3 or 4 months pregnant. My stomach felt heavy. I felt cramping in the middle of my uterus, twitching on the right side. And then at 1:17, I felt like my cycle was about to start, and that I pretty much had blood, like rimming, about to come out. Then I found out it was just discharge. So then I was really like, that's crazy. So I'm at work. This is the 29th on a Thursday. I'm like, okay, I planned on testing on, well, that day, because that was the day my cycle was due. But I went to the Dollar Tree, where I got all my pregnancy tests from, because I've taken so many, I was not about to spend any extra money on it. And I figured, okay, maybe they're reliable, maybe they just haven't detected it so far. But the last one I took, which was 5 days ago, it was negative. But I ended up picking 2, and they actually had 2 different brands there, which I always stuck with, like the pink one, but there was a white one. So I was like, let me try this one in case the pink one isn't as sensitive. So I got home, I told Jared I just needed some me time, I wanted to read, which was very true. And he needed to take an assessment test. So I was like, oh, perfect. So the test should take about 30 minutes to an hour. That's when I'm gonna test. I'm gonna find out, and then I'll plan on how I will announce it to him. So you guys had already seen that. I find out that I'm pregnant, and I feel pretty okay. Like I'm still getting bloated and stuff like that, but I felt pretty good. So then the next day was yesterday, so I go to work, and just with that conscious knowing that you're pregnant, and we said we weren't gonna tell anybody, and I didn't, but it's like, I'm pregnant, nobody knows. I hope I'm not acting weird because I'm pregnant and nobody knows. So it was kind of hard for me, because it was like, man, I just wanted to tell people. But as far as how I was feeling, I was fine. I was just bloated again. But this is another thing. It's like I was bloated and I was constipated. So if I didn't poop right away, immediately my body's like, I'm gonna make you nauseous. If I didn't eat when it was time to eat, when I was hungry, my body's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna make you nauseous. If I didn't go pee when I was supposed to go pee, all right, I'm just gonna make you nauseous. If I didn't take a nap when I apparently felt tired, okay, I'm gonna make you nauseous. And it wasn't like nauseous like, I'm about to throw up right now, like a scale of 10 nauseous. It was like a very faint, like 3, like, ugh, like it's just so faint. It's like I'm not about to throw up, but I just feel nauseous, and I hate that feeling. So once I figured out that game, I was like, okay, well, let me make sure I'm taking my naps and eating. So I'm eating more regularly, which they say to eat 5 to 6 times a day. So I've been trying to eat more regularly on the schedule. Because if not, it's like that little bit of nausea will come and it's so whack. So as far as any other symptoms, my boobs, oh my goodness, my nipples are so sensitive and my boobs have gotten fuller. They're still not sore per se. If there is any soreness, I think it's from my arm workout the other day, which y'all see my arms. Funny enough, I've been on my workout plan for 5 weeks now. So as long as I've been pregnant, I've been working out. So that's been interesting. Hopefully my plan is to continue working out throughout the pregnancy. But yeah, so that has been weeks 1 through 4. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I answered the questions. I feel like I've been mumbling. This will probably be the longest symptom update video because it's the first one and I'm covering 4 weeks per se. But yeah, those are the symptoms I had, and I just thank you guys for watching. I'm doing this because I know it helped me to watch other women on YouTube about their symptoms and what they were going through, and it's also cool to just track it and for me to go back and look, hey, this is my first pregnancy, this is how I felt, this is how I found out. So this is really documentation for me and fun for me. But if you guys are enjoying it too, and if you're pregnant with me too, if you are having a September 2017 baby or August 2017 baby, I'm here for you. I'm excited for you. Congratulations, and let me know below because then we can be like bump buddies and then we can see how each other is doing if we have the same symptoms. Other than that, as far as what we're doing, action steps with the pregnancy, I have to determine if I want an OBGYN or a midwife. We want to have a natural baby, a natural birth. And it's like I want to have the midwife thing. I really do. Then it's like, are they official? So that's what I'm going through right now. But I'm going to, it's New Year's Eve. I found out that I'm pregnant during the holidays, so I think they won't be open till like sometime next week, and I'll schedule a prenatal visit with them. There's one that is close to me, so I'll do that. But it's like part of me kind of wants a doctor. But yeah, so we're not sure if we want a doctor or a midwife, but we know that it is our choice. One is not better or the other. But we do have our own preferences and we want to have a natural birth, and I guess it's just better to have the whole experience and not complicate things because we know that we could switch throughout the way if we like to. So that's where we are with that. Other than that, I've been thinking, I have a full-size bed in the baby room. Which we had already designated a baby room before, like when we bought our house. Of course, we wanted to grow in our house and we planned for our baby room, our guest room, and our office room along with our master bedroom. So we have 4 bedrooms. So we've always had this room. We always referred it to as the, we've always had the room and we've always referred to it as the baby room, but it was more so like a second guest room, and it has a full-size bed in it. But I really like that bed. So I was just like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't want to give that bed away. Like, that's a nice bed. It's a nice bed. It's a nice mattress. I don't want to give it away. Then I looked on Pinterest and I found that people they call it a nursery guest room, which no guest will be staying in the nursery with our child unless it's like, I don't know. That's not the plan for it, but they have it to where they turn the bed a certain way and make it like a little canopy, like decorated, and it's still like in the theme of the nursery. It just so happens to be a bed in there. I mean, because really, they're not going to be in there anyway. So I found a way, and so I moved the bed by myself already. Just to get my mind prepared and ready and see the vision, because I'm like, how this is going to look, but it definitely gave more space in the room, so I was happy about that. Yeah, so now, without further ado, oh, another thing too, if you guys haven't noticed, I've been kind of out of breath throughout the video, and it's like, it's just the beginning though. Like, is this gonna be my life? So yes, I've been out of breath as I speak, you know. I don't know, so I think that's a pregnancy thing. But anyway, let me stop talking. This is a long video. So here's my baby bump. So here's the baby bump. Yeah, so keep in mind that this is a result of extreme bloating because, to be honest, the baby is pretty much microscopic. But I guess that's the reality of weeks 1 through 4. I just have a lot of bloating. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week. And guess what? Mr. Mason will be on the update for weeks 5 through 12. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye.